New tonight, the owners of the Ghost Ship Warehouse in Oakland recently filed bankruptcy to settle a lawsuit with victims' families and survivors of the warehouse fire. You might remember that tragedy nearly 5 years ago killed 36 people and displaced many others.
KRON 4's Taylor Bisacky joins us live in the studio and breaks down what this means for the families and the survivors. Taylor.
Well, as you know, this has been a long time coming for the family, and this filing of bankruptcy will actually help move along the final legal proceedings attached to this tragedy. And it will also cover more than half of the settlement for these families. An attorney representing victims' families says her clients are disappointed that the owners, the Ng family, weren't criminally charged, but at least they're being held accountable. December 2nd, 2016, a day many families won't forget after their loved ones died in a fire that tore through the Ghost Ship Warehouse in Oakland. The inferno killed 36 people and left many others living there at the time homeless. Now, nearly 5 years later, an end in sight for these families. The Ng family, who owns the warehouse, which continues to sit vacant, recently filed bankruptcy to pay an estimated $11.8 million to survivors and families of the 36 victims.
Owners of the building, the Ngs, went into voluntary bankruptcy, and that's so that we will have not only their insurance policy, but we will also sell their properties that they have in Oakland, and those proceeds will go to the families.
Attorney Mary Alexander represents 13 of the families and a dozen others who once lived at the warehouse. She says they already settled with the city of Oakland and PG&E party promoters and the master tenant, Derek Almena. In March, Almena pled guilty to 36 counts of involuntary manslaughter, but will serve 12 years on home arrest and probation. Alexander says the families are disappointed that the Ng family wasn't also charged criminally.
Families really wanted to see the Ngs charged criminally and to be held responsible for letting this building be such a fire trap and have people living there and unpermitted events. And so the civil suit, though, the amount of money is not enough to compensate them fully. At least it's some sense of justice.
Under the Ng's bankruptcy plan, they'll pay nearly $6 million in insurance money, and the rest would come from the sale of their properties in Oakland, including the Ghost Ship Warehouse.
It is still very raw and still very upsetting to the families. We're hoping that this will give them some sense of justice, this compensation.
Alexander says together the bankruptcy and sale of the Ng's property could take as long as a year. Back to you.
All right.